This is Simon Wu with Game Insight Productions, and I am here with Mr. Earl Alexander, the voice of Lewis in Left 4 Dead. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, man. Thanks for having me here. What's up, y'all?
So my first question is, obviously, you're in Left 4 Dead zombie game. And zombies are just getting huge right now.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the recent explosion in popularity with the zombie genre? You know, not only in video games, like we got Dead Rising 3, we've got Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, The Walking Dead, the video game, and also in movies, TV shows, pop culture. What's that been like?
Well, I mean, I think it goes around like in a cycle. Then maybe generation goes by, then it comes back, and I think I've been around. I'm almost at that point where I ain't gonna even say almost. I have seen the stuff that I used to watch growing up fade away. Then 20 years later, bam, and now it's back, and people are like, oh, what is this? So like zombie. When you say zombie pictures, my first thing I'm thinking about Vincent Price, and God, what was the name of it? It was like I can't remember the name of it, but he was like the last man on earth or something like that, and it was like the zombies would come out and try to get him. So as a kid, I guess I was probably watching reruns because I'm not that damn old, but but I remember like it wasn't like today. Like I just got finished watching what was that, World War Z?
Yeah, World War Z.
I mean, and these like zombies on steroids, man. I mean, like I can deal with like the zombies, like in like The Walking Dead. You can walk up to them and like headshot them, hit them with an axe, pow, pow. But these zombies were like diving over like refrigerators and shit. Like, wow! I was like, damn, that ain't even fair, man. How can you get away from it? So back in the Vincent Price day, when our first zombie movie I saw, it was more intellectual. You didn't see them that much, but you know they were outside the house, and so your mind was freaking you out. You were like, oh damn, they're gonna get me. Oh, I don't, you know. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like everything got a zombie. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's something about when you're killing a zombie. It's like you know, we have that aggression, but you know, you ain't killing like a real human anymore. So you just be like, yeah, like, oh, can you curse on here? I'm like, I'm gonna fuck him up, son. Blow, headshot, boom. You know, that's you can't help it. You know, I'm like, I'm gonna choke you out, bitch. Boom, boom. I'm really not violent by nature, but you know, it's a zombie.
Yeah. So, like you just mentioned in that you watched the new World War Z movie with Brad Pitt. So the Rooster Teeth guys who were at their convention this weekend, they and a lot of fans have been, let's say, put it diplomatically, severely disappointed at what you're saying, like that somehow the zombie virus turns all the regular humans into Olympic athletes, right? Like fast zombies. So do you think that, you know, going back to what you're saying about the cycle of zombies, this is the way to keep it fresh and interesting?
Yeah. That's a good, I think that's a good point, probably. Yeah, because, I mean, I remember the first time I was like, even watched the Left 4 Dead trailer, I was like, oh, damn. I mean, because, you know, some of them are like fast as hell. You know, some of them like shooting their tongues down and snatching you up from the balcony. And, you know, then the tank is, which one was the tank is the biggest one? The biggest one. Yeah. So, I mean, that was I hadn't seen like, that was a different exposure to me from like the various kind of zombies, and some of them are fast. So I was like, damn. And then when I tried to play Left 4 Dead, like for the first time, man, I was like, freaking out because, you know, I'm playing with my friends and I can't even get out the house, man. I think I'm gonna start playing on the computer because, you know, I had the little joysticks and I was like trying to get out the house. I was like this. Damn. Couldn't get out the house, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" They was like, "But it's like, help me!" I was like, "All I can see is the roof," and then I'm panicking. He's like, "No, just pull it down," and all I see is the floor, and I can hear him like eating his bones and stuff. Help me! I was like, "Sorry, man, I'm sorry." so I can see where because it's intense, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Do you feel like it's like detracting from the concept of a zombie? It's like, no. You've invented something new here. We're not calling this a zombie anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know, when they changed the rules, that's when I like the zombie rules or like vampire rules. I was like, wait a minute, man. You can't change. They got them walking out like you watch vampires walking out in the daylight. I'm like, oh, come on, man. What's up? You just broke a rule. And so, I mean, I don't know the whole zombie rule, but what was that movie with Will Smith when he was like the only dude driving that Mustang with the dog?
I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend. So, like, what the hell were those? Were those zombies?
Who knows?
It's that kind of stuff. It's like so many variations, man. So, I mean, I'm kind of, if it makes sense, and if the plot makes sense, you still got to have a story, I think. Then, then maybe, I think it could be interesting.
So, you made you were part of a character in Left 4 Dead, which is made by Valve. Mm-hmm. You also were in it with Jen Taylor, who's here as well, as Zoe. So now Valve is a company that's famous for their implicit storytelling, right? They're not telling you exactly what happened, like who is the CEDA, why there are these zombies, like what happened in the infection, outright. If you're just playing the game without looking for it, it's just you going through a series of safe houses and shooting zombies. But then if you start looking around at the map, you start looking at like a campsite here, and especially the things written on the walls of the safe houses, they tell a story, some of them linear, of these people, just these people that you have no idea who they are. And that's what they're famous for. Is that something that you appreciate in this kind of game, or what do you think? Where does it belong in gaming?
Well, I guess from like my perspective, coming from more like the acting part of it, where that would be important is, before I started recording the session, I probably spent the first 20, maybe 25 minutes just asking, but probably about 20 minutes just asking questions, because, I didn't know what, like, okay, Left 4 Dead, what's going on in the game? For me to be able to voice it right, I needed the information, because they didn't just come out and say, they give you a little bit, here, this is kind of what's happening. But I was like, that's not enough. Okay, I noticed I got like about seven different categories of monsters or zombies. So from a voice actor standpoint, I need to know which one is dangerous, from like 1 to 7, like 1 being the weakest. Okay, which one is he? And so I wrote a little cheat sheet, like, okay, this one, he's not that scary. I can just be like, man, get off me, boom. Number 2, he's a little bit more scary, just, dang, dang, and so on and so on. So when you get to like the number 7, you're like, damn, the witch? Okay, she's about to take my anus and digest it. So you just might as well just like not even run, just go, all right, here it is. I'm gonna pull it out myself. I'm dead. So I was asking questions like that. So, so I can better voice the voiced actor. Cause I guess, the character. So when I'm doing something, I'm thinking from the perspective of, okay, if somebody's going to be watching, cause I'm a super anime fan. And so I know if I'm watching something and if the voice is the character, if it's, how can I say? If he knows what's going on, like, so if the actor really knows what's happening, then I can convey it. So I'm thinking people are going to be watching this or playing this for hours. I got to make sure that every time that I'm on point and I know what I'm saying, or at least I have the situation. I know what the scenario is. So, in that sense, I think it's cool with the information. But then I don't know what's happening in the rest of the game. I don't know, like the other stuff that like what Valve does. Like at that time, I don't know that there's, writing on the walls or anything like that. I'm just trying to get a clear understanding. Because it's not like, like they tell you, okay, he's worked at this company for a number of years and blah, blah, blah. You just kind of have to like fill it in a lot of times for yourself.
Yeah. So this is something I also asked, Jen Taylor. Obviously, you just said yourself that they didn't really give you a lot. They're like, okay, so here are some monsters. You were left largely to yourself to develop Lewis, to develop a character for him. What was that like, and how much leeway did they give you? How much did you collaborate with them on trying to follow their vision of what they might have thought Lewis was supposed to be?
Well, this is good. Okay, when I first auditioned for Lewis, he wasn't nothing like he is now. Matter of fact, I had to go back and audition twice because when I went in the first time, there was no picture, there was nothing. So if you're black and they give you something, you just think you just read it neutral. I was like, okay, maybe he's, I don't know, white dude or whatever, I don't know. So like one of the lines was, the audition line that I remember was, when all this is over, I'm going back to my old life. And so I just read it like, when all this is over, I'm going back to my old life. That's not like my white voice or something, but that's like my neutral voice. Or like if I'm trying to rent an apartment or something like that, I don't want to know I'm black. I'll be like, hi, I was calling about the advertisement that you had for the apartment for rent. And then when I show, and my name is like Earl Alexander. So you really can't tell like what that is. You know, it's not like, yo, I'm Leon Jenkins, you know, or something like that. So, and so then when I show up, I'll be like, yo, guess who coming to dinner, baby? Yo, that apartment there, you said it was there. What's up? And so then, come on, pimp. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, and I have no, I don't have my pants, booty cheeks hanging out. No, I don't. I'm really presentable. But, so when I was doing that, so they Valve asked, I told my agent, hey, do you have any black people in your agency? She's like, yeah, I got, you know, because they send it out to, you know, the whole city. So in different agencies and stuff. So I had to go back. And this time they had a picture. Okay. Now, Lewis had a big hunting vest on, like you going to shoot an elephant. And he had like big cigar in his mouth. He was like an outdoor dude, big, like kind of nappy afro looking dude, and he was leaning on something like a gate. So I was like, oh, okay. So then that same line, I said, yo, when all this is over, I'm going back to my old life. And so then I end up getting, you know, those are the lines. Sure. And so I think what they're listening for is just to see if you make sense of the line, you know what's going on. So when I went to actually do the session with Valve, I still didn't know like what he was going to sound like. And then but then he totally changed. He looks like Lewis now.
Kind of office workers, scrubby office workers. Like I'm not supposed to be here. I just have a 9-to-5 job. I have a wife and 2 kids.
Exactly. It was like, is he married? He got kids?
That's a complete assumption. I mean, he's just like a regular white collar office worker. Yeah.
And so then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I got a story for that too. But then I asked guys, I was like, hey, what do you want him to sound like? Oh, kind of like you, like me, like Earl me. And they was like, yeah, like you. All right, that's cool. And so, I mean, I guess I don't normally sound really, I think my voice is a little bit heavier than his on the normal, unless I get excited a little bit. Then I sound just like him, you know, kind of like, so I'm here in Austin. So let's say somebody's talking about, okay, maybe there's like Stubbs barbecue, and I see like the hot sauce. The barbecue sauce, they sell it in the stores like in Seattle. So you walk, oh damn, look, man, they go Stubbs. Oh damn. And then that's when Lewis just comes out of me, because it's like, oh wait a minute, that is okay. Yeah, there it is. Because you know, you just can't help it. But I had a story about something just a minute ago. It's about
Lewis, like a 9-to-5 office worker type person.
Oh, shit.
Wife and 2 kids.
No, it was right after that. Oh, no, my brain is slipping. I said, I got a story about that. Damn it. Oh, but you got the film. We could just go back and, maybe later. I was like, can you rewind it? But I guess we can't cut it. What the hell was I going to say? Oh, man, it's gone. Maybe it might come back to me. It was something about, okay, was audition process? You can edit this too, like this, my rambling right now. You can... Well, what the hell was I about? It was something kind of cool, too. I could feel it was cool.
Nothing wanting it to be just your normal voice?
Oh, I know what it was. It was about the okay. So the dude that is Lewis's face, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I seen this dude. So he's a model, I think, because like let's say if I go out on an audition that's like not a really speaking audition where they need actors, they just like the image. I had seen him a couple times too. So he's like he's a model dude, like, you know. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I totally know this cat. See it right as that's his face. But, you know, I can cosplay him because I'm bald headed and I can just shave off my face and put on a white shirt and red tie, and then there you go. But yeah, that's what it was I was trying to remember. So he is based off of a real person's face.
Okay. Yeah, and so finally, you know, as a voice actor, but also a regular actor, do you see a difference between kind of the respect and kind of prestige of voice actors? Because it seems like in Hollywood, they're kind of treated as second-class citizens for a while, but now, as we progress and we see video games becoming increasingly popular and overtaking movies, and we see animated movies like the ones made by Pixar becoming serious blockbuster hits, voice actors are really important and high in demand. And people are not just hiring voice actors for what they sound like, but for the personality that they can project. And these people are coming back 2, 3, 4 times even in a series. So do you think that the idea is changing and voice actors becoming much more respected for the work they do?
Shit, I haven't seen that part of it, man. I guess I got to live in LA or be in that, but most of us are like, I was talking like, if you saw the panel, did you see the panel yesterday when we were doing the voice actor panel? Like Jen was talking about that. It's actually, this is just no. I didn't. It's not just my experience. I think a lot of time the voice actors, the last shit they think about a lot of times. I think they need to think about it more, because if you're playing a game, if somebody could just do, let's say somebody can make a unique voice or a different sound, it's cool for a few minutes. But if they're not, well, I recommend if anybody wants to be a voice actor that they take an acting class, because if you speaking, you got to have a reason to speak. And if they don't give you one of the directors or whatever, you got to create a world in your brain real quick. Because, like I'm talking to you now, I'm trying to convey some information. So anytime we speak, that character has a reason for speaking. So you got to find out, why is he talking? What's his motivation? Because they can't see him. So you're trying to convey that. So you have to build all that in your mind and try to make it specific as you can. But I don't think a lot of times they see it that way. I know back they used to like have people, whoever worked in the office, say, hey, you do this. But I think it makes a huge difference, because when you're recording something and you're like 3 hours into it, you have to still have that, still the focus of like what I'm doing, what's going on, what's the scenario, what's my given circumstances. So when something does happen in the game or whatever, that it's appropriate. And, okay, here's an example. Like I did a Seattle, I'm doing a commercial for Seattle Mariners radios. A radio spot for the baseball team. So the first time I auditioned for it, I got the gig. So when I got there, it's like a 40-second like spot, and so they really, hadn't had anybody just like really read it like it's supposed to sound. And then it's like, this shit is way too long. And so then they're cutting and changing and moving, cutting and changing and trying to get it down to the time where. And so it took an hour and a half to do a spot that's like 40 seconds, and so that campaign was good. So they had me come back and do it again. But this time they sent me, he sent me the draft, and then he's like, hey man, read it and see in the back. So I did it in my little home studio, and I read it like 3 different ways, but like with the intensity and the speed that it's supposed to be read. So when we got to the real studio to do it,
you're ready to go.
Was just like, bam, 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 I'm done. All right, peace. And I feel like that's how some game developers should go at it. When they're writing it, they don't know what it sounds like. They know what it sounds like in their head, or not even game developers, anybody. And then hire actor to come sit around like in the office. Let's read it. Let's work on some of this, and let's see how it sounds. Because what happens is the collaboration starts happening when you bring the actor in, and they read it a way that they never even thought about. I never thought about it that way. It could have been where if you would have, had somebody come in the office 2 weeks ago, that script would have been like, it would change by the time you do it, and it would be better. But, that's not just my opinion. I'm sure some other people feel that way, but, a lot of times the backstory isn't super, maybe it's like, it's getting deeper now. Yeah. But, yeah.
All right, so finally, your favorite line that you had to say from Left 4 Dead.
Okay, I did the voice panel yesterday, but my favorite line is, when all this is over, Bill, Zoe, I'm giving you both jobs. Francis, I'm going to teach your ass how to read. So that was my favorite line in the game. All
right, well, that's all the time we had. It was a fantastic time here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Simon Wu, y'all.